Hello, hello. Welcome to the Expanded Women podcast. I am so excited to finally be recording. It's been a long road for me to get here. And I'm just so excited to be offering a more in-depth offering that's free for all of my audience and my following and all the people that want to learn from me. Today's podcast is going to be about the 5 channels of awareness. And so, in the modality of somatics that I practice, we talk about the 5 channels of awareness. So, we're going to go over today what they are, how you can start to access them, and how they can help you purge old belief systems, and also how to use them to anchor into the more positive feelings. So just to get started off here, we'll go through what all of the 5 channels of awareness are, and I'll talk a little bit about each one as I go through. And so the first channel of awareness that I believe most of the population spends most of their time in is the mind channel. And so that's the thoughts, that's that intellectual thinking. And absolutely nothing wrong with spending lots of time in the mind channel, but we want to be able to access the other channels because that's where the healing and the presence and the deeper understanding comes through, is really through the body more than anything. But the other channels help us really truly access that. And so the second channel would be the imagination or the visualization channel. And so I have a lot of clients come to me and they say, I can't visualize anything. That's not a strong channel for me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see anything. And I actually had a client that worded it so perfectly. I love this analogy so much. She said, "Oh, wow, I was expecting it to be like a Netflix show, but it's not like that." And so that was just such a beautiful reminder that, it's not always what we expect it to be, the visualization and the imagination. But I often find that those people who say that they're not strong in that channel end up spending most of their session in the visualization channel, which can be such a great channel for working through all kinds of stuff. And so the next channel we have is the emotions. And I also like to just kind of not really restrict this to just being the emotions. I like to ask people, what are any emotions or words that you can use to describe what you're feeling? Because really all it is when we're kind of exploring the different channels of awareness is we're trying to really deepen into the experience. So any way that we can use to help deepen into the experience is truly, truly helpful. And so the fourth channel of awareness that I'm going to bring into your awareness is the felt sensations. And again, this is another one of those channels that I find a lot of clients will say that they're not capable of experiencing. And then they'll very quickly realize that is not the case. And so when I talk about felt sensations, that is any sort of sensation that you feel inside the body. So a couple of examples that I like to use is the first one being when you experience anxiety, you can feel those butterflies in the stomach. And then on the other side of things, when we're having a positive experience, maybe we feel expansion in the heart or something along those lines. And then the fifth and final channel of awareness is posture. And this one I feel is so, in my experience anyways, it feels very underrated. And I'll just give you a quick little explanation of of how and why posture is so important. And I guess I can't really fully explain the science behind it, but I know that in my own experience, if we can get into a posture that is connected to a feeling that we're experiencing, it can be the key to unlocking the deeper emotions and the expression of whatever it is that we're feeling. For instance, I found myself in a situation one time when I was working through some really hard feelings, and I asked myself, which body posture does my body want to be in right now? And as I placed my body in that posture, a whole bunch of other feelings and emotions came out and were released. And then I noticed my body returning back into regulation after that, after accessing those emotions that the just simply getting my body into that posture provided for me. So that was a brief overview of what the 5 channels of awareness are, and how you can start to access them is to just simply start as you're going through your day, noticing which channel am I in right now? Am I in the mind channel, or am I in the feeling channel? Am I in the visualization channel? And if you have a daily practice and you want to work through something, or you're experiencing some sort of emotions that you want to work through, you can start to ask the questions, which channel am I in? And just start to explore a little bit and play a little bit with the different channels. The reason why we want to become really good at exploring these different channels is so that when we're experiencing something really beautiful, we can explore the channels and deepen and anchor into that experience. And then on the other hand, when we're experiencing something that's extremely uncomfortable or dysregulating, we can start to explore the channels and teach our nervous systems how to create safety, how to release these emotions, or how to move away from them if they're too intense in that moment, so that we can come back to them later. So when we're dealing with a certain emotion or situation, and we start to explore all the channels of awareness, what this does is it really creates a deep awareness and presence into whatever it is what's coming up for you and what's being felt. If we don't continue to ask the questions and explore the channels of awareness, oftentimes the mind will wander off into whatever, the to-do list of the day and whatnot. And especially during session, that's why I like to keep the questions going on and on. It's because if I stop asking questions, your mind will start to wander away from the experience. So what this is really doing is just deepening into that experience and allowing ourselves to really explore the depths of what's underneath and what's being felt in the body to be released. And as I mentioned earlier, we can use this knowledge of exploring the different 5 channels of awareness to anchor into something that feels really good. And so there will be lots more podcasts on this in the future that are more, delegated to certain topics, but it's really important for us to anchor into what we call the blues, the positive emotions, because that's how we raise our frequency. Being able to manifest something is going to happen 10 times faster if you can connect to that feeling that you're going to experience when you receive this manifestation. Because that's really all manifestations are, is we are desiring what receiving that thing that we are desiring is actually going to feel like, if that makes sense. So learning how to anchor in to these blues and these good emotions is so important, and it's such a big part of our healing journey. I personally believe that that learning how to feel into the little glimmers, I like to call them, in life, and feeling into those feelings of peace and joy and bliss and happiness are the most healing that you could possibly experience, because our bodies are meant to heal themselves if they are in a state of safety and regulation. So if we can get our bodies to a place of feeling that deep safety and peace, they will actually start to heal themselves. And of course, there's always the need to work through those big emotions that have been maybe stuck in the body or repressed in the body over years and over time. Of course, there's always a need for that, and I don't want to take away from that, but I just feel that in our society and our culture, we push so much into the discomfort all the time. We're always stressed. We're always anxious or depressed or whatever. We rarely take the time to really feel into the good stuff and to enjoy life. And it really is a privilege for a lot of us, especially if you've grown up in scarcity or experienced a lot of trauma and had a very dysfunctional upbringing, right? These kinds of feelings of joy and peace are just unknown to a lot of us. And so I just really want to place a lot of weight on how important it is to really anchor into these feelings of peace and joy and all of those things. So that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today on the 5 channels of awareness. I want to keep it nice and bite-sized for you guys. And the reason I want to share all of this is because a big part of the modality that I work with in somatics is that we are teaching you how to be your own healer. And of course, that doesn't replace the need to be held by other people, by, healers or facilitators or people to support you in your life. But I do want to give you the education and the tools that you can use to be your own healer, to take power and take control of your life. And so that's why I'm super passionate about sharing all of this and starting a podcast and really providing you guys with all these tools and information that you can use in your own time at home without having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a healer, because I know a lot of you out there are maybe struggling. And so, yeah, that's all for today. I'm so happy to be on here and be sharing with you guys, and I'm super excited for the next episode. Take care, you guys. Bye for now.